We are so looking forward to hearing from Aaron Schilleci. I actually got to spend some time with him and Chazan Fradkin and many families who happened to be here this morning. We got to spend time with him and his family at family camp pretty recently. That was about a little over a month ago. Who are family camp people? Okay, if you want to learn about family camp, find one of these people. And maybe it was when he was leading the Maccabia games that first when did you have the idea, Chazan Fradkin, to ask him to give a Dvar Torah? Didn't you say, I think it was the Maccabi games. His leadership, his charisma. So we're very much looking forward to hearing from you, and you're such an important part of our community. I want to read a little bit of your bio. Originally from Southern California, Aaron is the Division Chief of Aviation and Safety at the Army National Guard. He enlisted in the Army in 1995 as an intelligence analyst and later went on to become an Army aviator in 2001 before moving to the National Guard in 2010. He's a graduate of the Harvard Kennedy School Senior Executive Fellowship Program and the Elliott School of International Affairs National Security Studies and Leadership Program, and the National War College. Aaron and his wife, Rebecca, moved to Bethesda in 2019 with their 4 children, Anna, Gabriella, Jonah, and Benjamin. And we are so honored to have you share some words this morning. Come on up. Your children are applauding you.
This is the first time. First for everything. Hopefully nothing gets thrown at me at the end of this. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome and Shabbat Shalom. It's great to see family, friends, familiar faces, and please allow a sincere thank you to Rabbi Harris, Rabbi Megdal, and Hassan Fradkin, who are brave enough or crazy enough to provide this opportunity for this Dvar Torah. Well, buckle up and hold on, because through the Parsha of Korach, as we're going to discuss a topic near and dear to my heart, leadership, through many prisms and spectrums. Toxic through inspirational, egocentric to completely selfless. But before we get into it, let me introduce myself. I'm Aaron Schilleci, and as Rabbi Megdal stated, we moved here to Bethesda. Rebecca and I here with our 4 kids, Anna, Gabby, Jonah, and Ben, in 2019. We came here from Southern California and truly have never looked back. Literally, one of the first doors we walked through when we arrived 5 summers ago was Bethel, and we're so grateful for the amazing community we have become a part of. Now, I'm no rabbi, more of a mix between an Apache attack helicopter pilot and a national security strategist. So I will do my best to keep this story as entertaining as possible. So to get warmed up, I ask that we close our eyes. Close our eyes and breathe. Allow the awkwardness and anxiety of closing our eyes right now to dissipate in order to become more present in this moment. Allow ourselves to relax and breathe, to focus our minds on the words of our impactful discussion, and allow our hearing to become more acute, our minds sharper. Focus on relaxing and breathing. Slowly open your eyes. We're going to talk about the Torah portion and correlate leadership lessons and examples throughout our story today. We will delve into an ancient text that holds timeless wisdom on leadership. The Torah portion of Korach presents a dramatic narrative filled with conflict, challenge, and ultimately lessons that transcend time, demographics, and political parties. The main antagonist of our story today is Korach, a member of the Levite tribe. Korach challenged Moses' leadership and the divine appointment of Aaron, ironic, as the high priest. Korach's rebellion in the story is not merely a power struggle. It is a profound exploration and expression of what leadership truly entails. Let's look at the perspectives of leadership and authority. We should start by recognizing that power operates by division and influence operates by multiplication. Korach's focus was based on challenging Moses' power, based on a claim that all individuals within the community were holy and thus capable of leading. He questioned the centralization of authority and the distinction between leaders and followers. What Korach failed to recognize is true leadership is not about the consolidation of power, but about the duties and responsibilities of influencing others towards a common path which they would not normally walk on their own. Moses, as a leader, was not self-appointed, but chosen by a higher power and a higher authority to serve his people. Korach also provides a case study relative to toxic leadership. Some people have a difficult recognizing the difference between bad leadership and toxic leadership. Bad leaders are often not bad people. Sometimes these leaders are not equipped with the knowledge, education, experience, or sixth sense to succeed. But they are often good-hearted people as a poor fit in the top of an organization. Think about our professional and personal lives, and very quickly, we can think of people who meet this description. You see, I'm very passionate about bad leaders. Please allow me to quickly share a great human bad leader example. I very rarely share this story publicly, and specifically with this type of forum, so here we go. In 2009, I deployed to Afghanistan as an attack reconnaissance company commander in the 82nd Airborne Division. Simply, an officer in charge of 8 Apache Longbow helicopters and all the pilots, aircraft maintainers, and stuff that goes with these aircraft. My boss was the task force commander, a good dude, a God-fearing, church-going Southern Baptist. In order, he loves God, family, and country. Seemingly the archetype of a person one would expect to lead a battalion task force during a surge campaign in the Helmand province of Afghanistan in combat. A month to the day of our unit's arrival in Afghanistan, tragedy struck. One of my aircraft crashed. That entire ordeal is a story of extremes. Tragedy and miracle, foundationally balanced by exceptional heartache and loss, with unbelievable perseverance. But this is a story for another time. Let's focus on the leadership. When I learned that one of my aircraft crashed, I eventually was notified that one of my pilots did not make it through the impact. I went into autopilot mode and defaulted to training, compartmentalizing my emotions as I felt the need to lead the company through this worst-case scenario. As events rapidly unfolded, I met my task force commander at the Mortuary Affairs building to receive our fallen pilot. As our pilot was lying before us, I was on one side of him, and my commander was on the other side. The silence in this ridiculously awkward situation was deafening. My commander was simply not doing anything. He was frozen. I looked at him in the eyes, and I watched as he then tearfully looked at the ground and to the floor, defeated by the tremendous level of emotion of this tragic situation. He was emotionally broken and incapable of moving forward in this scenario. Gathering the pieces through this psychological tornado, I then placed my hand on our fallen and I asked everybody in the room to place their hand on him and bow their heads in a moment of respect and prayer for him and his family. My commander was unable to speak to our fallen pilot's widow or his son, nor was he able to lead the task force through the required memorial ceremony. I did, willingly and unhesitatingly. See, we learned that in combat and in life, all leaders are not created equally, whether it be physically, psychologically, or mentally. We rightfully aspire for our leaders to meet our expectations, but this does not always happen. My commander was a bad leader, not a bad person, simply the wrong person in charge at the wrong time. Toxic leaders are much different. As Korach demonstrated, they can come off as persuasive, even charming. They do not initially appear to be threatening. They appear to be very motivated about succeeding or pushing a particular agenda. But the undercurrents of every toxic leader include narcissism and self-fulfillment. These people are not worried about an outcome for the collective. They are specifically focused on winning for themselves at all costs, and often at the expense of the organization and specifically the people within the organization. Korach's toxic ambition and leadership is what blinded him to the needs of his community. His desire for power overshadowed the collective needs of the people he aimed to lead. This eventual downfall of Korach serves as a stark reminder that when leaders place their ambitions above their people, they risk not only their downfall, but also the well-being of those they lead. We can see plenty of examples of toxic leaders in America and Israel today. Again, power operates by division. The rebellion led by Korach caused a rift within the Israelite community, highlighting how divisive leadership can be exceptionally destructive. One can make an argument that an element of ignorance plays a role in this type of polarization. Consider for a moment more contemporary examples which immediately come to mind, which mirrors this type of behavior within our own society. Dates like the 6th of January ring a bell on one side of the spectrum, while actions like anti-Israel encampments on college campuses hit another side of the spectrum. A major driving factor aligning these two nefarious examples include tremendous amounts of misinformation and subsequent ignorance. True leadership seeks to unite, to find common ground, and to foster an environment where voices are heard and valued. Moses' response to Korach's challenge was not to assert his dominance, but to fall on his face in humility, seeking a resolution that would preserve the unity of his people. Leadership is about character. But what is character, really? Some argue that character is a measure of trust, reliability, and honesty within a given leader. I would argue that people's personalities change over time and with given situations. We're going to act differently with our kids than with our mother-in-law. But character is often difficult to change. Character is a measure of personal accountability, your reflection in a mirror, something from which we cannot run. And in true form and in the face of rebellion, Moses' character was tested. He did not respond to the rebellion with anger or vengeance, but with patience and a plea for understanding. As we are aware, leadership is often a test of character, an environment where our true values are revealed under extreme pressure. Within these watershed moments, we must hold steadfast to integrity, compassion, and empathy to effectively lead. Leaders effectively build and grow in influence by experiencing shared hardship with those they lead. When we experience collective trauma or adversity, we are forced to rely on one another for support, whether it's emotional, physical, or psychological. From a micro level, if we examine Moses' ability to influence throughout this story, he and the Israelites experienced the associated adversities and traumas inflicted by Korach and the 250-person rebellion. In part, as a result of these experiences, Moses was able to bond with his people and stave off the challenges. We can make an argument over time that a major driving undercurrent facilitating our people's abilities to continue to persevere is because of the many levels of generational trauma we have been forced to face, ranging from slavery in Egypt, to the Inquisition, to the pogroms in Europe, to the Holocaust, to October 7th. We have been forced to endure, and because of the level of generational resilience of our people, we have always overcome, and we always will. These traumas have and will continue to generate incredible resolve, leadership, and examples of valor and heroism not found in any other people's story. In conclusion, the story of Korach is a powerful lesson in leadership. It teaches us that authority should be exercised and balanced with humility. Ambition must be tempered with a sense of service. Unity should be the goal of every leader. Character is the foundation of leadership, and the true role of a leader is to serve our people. As we reflect on these lessons, let us strive to embody the principles of leadership that Moses demonstrated: humility, service, unity, integrity, and compassion. May we lead not from a place of power, but from a place of purpose, passion, and ultimately happiness. Todah Rabbah. My family and I wish you peace, health, and joy. Shabbat Shalom.